go. All right.
Yay!
Hello.
Good to see you. Yes.
Welcome.
Awesome.
All right, go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, carnivores and apex predators of the digital realm, welcome to the most ferociously entertaining evening of the week. It's Monday, and that can only mean one thing. It's time for the Fierce FeLions broadcast. I am Laura, one of the co-hosts. My channel is Eat to Your Health with Carnivore.
Get ready to unleash your inner beast as we dive into the wild world of carnivorous content with a dash of humor, a sprinkle of knowledge, and a whole lot of roaring excitement. I am your host, Robyn Heron, your carnivorous grandma.
Yay! And I'm your host, G. Brown, the Lifestyle Changer. And alongside me is our untamed team of feline fangs, prowling the virtual jungle to bring you the latest in carnivorous escapades, jaw-dropping facts, and a whole lot of fun.
Whether you're a meat-loving carnivore or just curious about the thrilling world of predators, this is the show for you. I'm your host, Rhonda at Carnivore Leo.
So lock in your coordinates, set your reminders, and sharpen those claws, because every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Fierce FeLions are going to whisk you away on a captivating journey into the heart of the wild. Join us for an hour of raw, unfiltered entertainment that's sure to leave you purring with excitement. It's time to pounce on another unforgettable episode of the Fierce FeLions. I am Rebecca with the Carnivore family, here to bring carnivore to the everyday family.
Welcome everybody.
I
We are
know.
so glad to
Hello.
see you here. Oh my gosh, this is our very first episode of the Fierce FeLions, Meaty Mondays with the Fierce FeLions. I'm so excited to be here with all of my co-hosts. And I wanted to just tell you a little bit about why I'm here with these beautiful ladies. I had it in my heart that I wanted to do a panel discussion with a group of women from all walks of life. The next thing you know, I receive a text from G. Brown saying, hey, I have this idea about doing a panel discussion with a group of women from all walks of life. And I said, oh my God, that's got to be a God thing. So to me, this is a God connection. I'm very excited about it. And I'm so excited for you guys all to get to know us and us to get to know each other better.
And I, too, am very excited to be part of this wonderful team of FeLions. I am just so honored that G asked me to be a part of the team. So my reason for accepting is because I wanted to be around like-minded people, and I wanted to get to know more people in the carnivore community. And I'm hoping that my channel and my story can even help inspire someone on their carnivore journey.
Awesome, Rhonda.
Yes.
All right. My turn?
Yes, Laura.
yes.
Rebecca, y'all know I'll be tearing these names up, Lord have mercy.
Well, I am here just to show that carnivore can be done as a family, that all those questions about what your kids eat and can kids be carnivore? Can family do carnivore? What do you buy? How do you handle holidays? It's everything like that. I am one that looks out there and say that the kids are not all right when we look at the kids around our country. And so much of it can be boiled down to nutrition. And so I am here just to be with these other women and think about how this can look from so many different family perspectives.
All right. And the reason I came to this, for one, I can't ever tell G no. So that's just one of those. Number two is because with my health background of being a nurse for 21 years, I want to get the information out that you can take control of your health and not everything has to be a pill. There are times where that's what's necessary, but I want to get out there that you can heal your body through the proper human diet.
All right. And as for me, just how Robyn said, I was sitting and it was pressed on me. And then the first words out of my mouth, I don't know anybody like that in the carnivore community. And God placed these ladies on my heart, and how I know it was to be They all said yes. So hi, everybody. We are so glad you are here.
Yes,
we
we
want
are.
this show to be different. I have nothing to compare it to, but just what's on my heart. We have a nurse, we have a grandma, we have a household of 10 that are all carnivores. So she could tell you from the littlest to the oldest. And then we have what I call my introvert carnivore, but honey, she is a lion. You hear what I say? She's
Best
a
believe.
Leo. That's it. Yes, she is. And so this is a beautiful thing. So let's go ahead and get over into the show. Hi, Frederick.
Hi, Frederick.
Hello. Thank you for
Go
the
right ahead.
emails. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead with my carnivore story, and I'll keep it short. But in 1991, I was very unhealthy, following the doctor's guidance, following his diet, which standard American diet, and became very unhealthy, morbidly obese, and very sickly. Going to be diabetic any day. Basically, my numbers were very high, and of course, he handed me a script for Lipitor, and I just was like, I'm 20, and I was like, I should not be taking a pill. And I really just stepped back and I thought, nope. Now this is before Google, and I went to the library in the town I lived in, and I spent weeks reading all the old medical journals from like 1850 up to 1910. And every one of them talked about nutrition, about the fuel you put in your body. No different than if you take your dog to the vet, the first thing the vet says is, what are you feeding him? When's the last time you heard your doctor ask that? I mean, it's almost never, and food is your fuel. So we are what we eat. And so I just went back to eating the way my grandparents did, which was bacon grease. It was no complex carbs. It was nothing white. And within 9 months, I had lost 140 pounds and got my triglycerides from 1,000 to 33. And of course, he was proud of himself when I went back. And then I told him how ashamed of him I was in his medical field of not knowing more about my body than me, and fired him and decided to take on my health from then on. So that's basically how I started, and did keto for 28 years. And now I've been carnivore for 4, and 8 of those months I've been lion. And I feel the best doing the lion, which is just ruminant meat, salt, and water. And so that's kind of my story. And then I put that out to my patients and educate them and their doctors on proper human nutrition.
So remind everybody what you do.
I am a home health nurse. I go into everybody's homes, look over their 3 pages of meds, and I work on getting it down to under 10.
All right.
Great.
Thanks, Laura. Awesome.
You're welcome.
Okay, it's my turn. I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of background about me, and because I know a lot of you don't know who I am. But again, my name is Rhonda, and I'm from Southern California, and I currently live in Northern California. And I'm married, and I have 2 grown children. My son is 36, and my daughter is 21. And I am a U.S. Air Force veteran. I was stationed at Travis Air Force Base, California, and I served as a medical services specialist at David Grant Medical Center. So after I served my enlistment term, I worked for the state of California for 28 years and then retired in 2017. Now, how I found carnivore was through Dr. Anthony Chasey's a video popped up in my YouTube feed called Plants Are Trying to Kill You. So that video inspired me to give carnivore a try. And my why for trying carnivore was to eliminate the blood pressure medications that I had been on for 30 years. So I started carnivore on January 2nd of this year. And within a few months after being carnivore, not only did my blood pressure normalize, I lost the additional weight that I needed to lose. And today I'm at my current weight, my current desired weight of 115 pounds. So I'm so grateful to Dr. Anthony Chasey for directing me to the carnivore lifestyle.
Good.
Awesome.
Awesome. That's so awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I am Rebecca, and my YouTube channel is Carnivore Family. And we came to carnivore initially for my husband. I was always trying to be healthy and lose weight and make my kids, stay on a healthy diet. But figuring out what that meant in today's propaganda world it's like digging through a puzzle box. You get so much mixed information. But about a year and a half ago, my husband kind of reached his tipping point for health. He was morbidly obese. He was so lethargic. He was sleeping like 18 hours a day. He had high blood pressure. He was on testosterone. He had sleep apnea. He was depressed. He was anxiety ridden. Like it was just we couldn't figure out what the root of the problem was. Nothing made it better. We just kept treating symptoms. He wasn't any better. We'd go to the doctors. We'd look at blood tests. They'd test all the typical things. Nothing made it better. And he finally got to where his blood pressure was so high, he thought he was having a heart attack. It was really his blood pressure was like 230 over like one something. It was crazy. We went to the ER and it's like, yep, we were just like, you could have had a stroke in your sleep and that would have been it. Like it was so bad. And so after that little stint in the ER, he decided, I'm going to make a change. I've heard this carnivore thing through Dr. Berry and I want to try it. I think I can do that. And we decided to make it as the whole family because there's not going to be any way that he was going to eat just carnivore and we're going to have, cereal and tacos for the rest of the family. It's just wasn't going to happen. So we're just going to do it. We call ourselves Team Reese, and this is going to be awesome. a family lifestyle change. And now we're about almost a year and a half in. He's lost over 100 pounds. I've lost about 50 pounds. And our kids have had lots of subtle improvements, just that I like to talk about, just the things you didn't even know were wrong, just little things that you thought were just normal ailments of life or with kids, or that's just how things are. And it doesn't have to be that way. Nutrition solves so many things. And if we can teach the kids to do this from a young age, it'll be their new normal. And so that is my goal, is to just show people that it can be done with this family, and here's how it could look, and here how you could get there without it being traumatic, and it's great. And we're happy campers now.
That is awesome, Rebecca. I just love that so much. I am Robyn Heron, your carnivorous grandma, and I am a grandmother of 11. And so I'm very concerned about my grandkids and what they're eating, of course, right? I don't have too much influence over that really, except for when they're with me. So I want to be able to provide them with some nutritious meals. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you, Rebecca, because you're going to teach me what I need to know. So my why is because I am sick and tired. You hear me? I'm sick and tired of yo-yo dieting. I've been dieting since I was 11 and doing all these different diets and trying this and trying that. I tried Atkins, I tried keto, and it just was not sustainable for me because I am a carbohydrate addict. So I will eat a carbohydrate today, and 2 years later, I'm going to turn around and have gained all my weight back and be like, oh man, I got to start over again. So I'm sick and tired of yo-yo dieting. And then the other thing is that I had like debilitating anxiety to the point where I thought I'm not going to be able to drive. I stopped driving on the highway, and I had to drive like 70 miles or something to work. And I would drive all that way on the side roads trying to get back home every day. I just stopped driving on the highway. And then after the big C, I literally stopped driving on the highway at all. I would drive all around town and, all cross country trying to get to where I'm going because my anxiety was so high. And so I heard Dr. Berry. I watched him and he went carnivore. I watched him go from keto to carnivore. And I was like, this is amazing. And I just knew I was going to try it. So February 22nd of this year, I did try it, and I'm never going to be yo-yo dieting again.
That's right.
I know. There's nothing like what we're doing right now. Well, I'm the vegan of the bunch. And the question that I get a lot of times is, okay, when you was vegan, you thought it was right. So why all of a sudden carnivore thought it was right? And my reply is, I ain't started a YouTube channel when I was vegan, was This is so different. My husband, those that are familiar with our channel, December and January, December of 2022 and January of 2023, my husband was going from limping to a cane to my mother's walker. He likes for me to say my mother's walker because he don't want to feel like he actually had a walker, but he was using it. So he went back and forth with that, and my husband was miserable. And for me, all while I was vegan, I was still over 200 pounds. And we will later on in the shows talk about that food trickery, that moderation word. We'll talk about that. But we turned around and we had eliminated everything out of his diet because gout was one. And then, of course, they said red meat and all of these things could cause these flare-ups. Well, he literally ate chicken Caesar salads for 6 weeks. And he was still limping, and he was still all these other things, and he was still on the walker. And it's like, okay, it has to be something else. And we went to a specialist, and they gave him a slew of meds. And then my brother visited and shared with us the carnivore diet. And then when that happened, he changed. So let me see, today is 160 days, no, 62 days for me and 164 days for him. There's a 2-day difference because this is how I was watching him, because I didn't eat meat. And it was like, oh, I'm not getting ready to do that. And the beef stinks and I don't want that. But I was not the vegan, like save the animals. That was not. It has always been for my health, because one of the things that I would say, this car looks real good on the outside, but honey, if you lift that hood, it needs an oil change, it needs a timing belt. It's just, it started needing things under the hood. And so I wanted a better life. Watching him, and then the next day, he didn't like puff and disappear. And so I started with lamb. I did. And this was the best decision that we've ever made. We were, I don't know about you ladies, I don't know about any of the, oh Lord, look at her. I got pictures of her being over 200. I don't know what it was like for everybody else, but they have this thing where you're turning 40, this is going to start happening and this is going to stop happening. No, your body can no longer handle the processed food. Your body can no longer handle the sugars. Your body cannot handle the fake food. And I say this all the time. A chemist made that food, not a chef. A chef was not in there dehydrating, putting it in a package, doing the noodles and sealing it in a box. No, a chemist did that. And so when your body can't take it anymore, that's where we were. I shared this with my bestie earlier today. Now, I didn't know, I was thankful for 70 years. Without a shadow of a doubt, as long as nothing accidental takes place, your girl going to be ripping and running well into her hundreds. Yeah, because I'm going to be 33 on the inside for a long. I'm 33 on the inside. I'm turning 60 next year in July. 60.
Which is the new 30.
Thank you. Well, new 33 for me, honey. Yes. And that's where I am. I went from vegan to carnivore, and I will never go back. And I say 2 hashtags. Hashtag never be big again, and hashtag road to 60. And I will never be big again. Never, ever. All right.
Same here.
Oh, thank you, love. I look amazing now. Thank you.
Gee, you and
That's
I
the
are about
lady
Gee
the
from my
and
same.
church.
Bridgetta.
Hey, Miss Sherry
Yes.
Lumpkin.
All right. Go ahead,
Thank you for being
Rebecca.
here.
All right, we're going into our tips. Is that correct?
Yeah, because
Yes,
I
right.
know
that's
you
correct.
got some great tips for
Yeah.
strategies and succeeding on this carnivore diet.
Yes. Well, I'm going to give a tip that comes up on my channel all the time about being successful with kids, and that is teach your kids how to cook from a very young age. Help them participate, put them up there next to you at the stove, let them flip the meat over, let them stir the ground beef. We have an air fryer, and all of my kids down to age 4 can cook in the air fryer by themselves. And so they
Nice.
are very independent, and that way, for one, it keeps it so I'm not just cooking all day long, because with 8 kids, I would just be, all I would be doing is standing at the stove and cooking if I had to make every meal. But it makes them very independent, and they get to eat their favorite things all the time, because we know our favorite things. You get on carnivore and you're like, I just want to have this one thing over and over again because it tastes so good. Kids are the same way. And so I have a couple of kids that they eat pork steak every day, day after day, and they don't get tired of it. They love it. When we run out, they're sad, but they cook it in the air fryer exactly the way they want it. Some like it really crispy. One of them puts it up at the top right next to the heating mantle, and it comes out super crispy, and I don't know, it almost crackles when she bites it like crispy bacon, and she loves it that way. And some of the, but they get to feel very independent, very in charge, and very self-sufficient. And there's something that's so motivating about that. It also cuts down on the complaints, because if it's overcooked or they don't like it or it's too salty, they only have themselves to blame. And it's a learning curve, But my 4-year-old, he'll come and get the chicken, like drumsticks, out of the fridge. He'll go over to the air fryer. He puts them on the little pan, puts them in, and he knows which buttons to push. He can't read them, but he knows which ones are his. And we just look over and make sure it doesn't say 50 minutes instead of, 15. I just double check it.
Fire alarm.
And then, yeah, exactly. And the older ones, they all can use the stove. They learn to cut the meat, and that makes it so that they're always getting the food that they like, and it's the way that they like. And so nobody feels like they're suffering because I'm trying to make everybody eat ground beef on Friday nights and everybody has to eat chicken wings on Saturdays or whatever, which is what I would have to do if I was doing all the cooking. And they are really loving it. They cook their own food for going to school or other events, and the ones that do sports, they cook food before they go and they take it with them.
Nice.
And so it's training them. When they're adults, they will know how to do this. If they choose not to, that's on them. They'll be grown-ups. They'll have to live with the consequences, but they will know how to take care of themselves if they want to prioritize that. So that's my biggest tip with kids. Teach them to cook for themselves.
That's an awesome tip. I think about the way that I do things. And Nisha, I saw that comment there. That is what Nisha said today on my interview with Dr. Berry and Nurse Nisha today, is teach them how to cook and let them make their own choices about what to eat. So that was really awesome. So here's my tip. Be prepared, or be prepared to fast. So I think that a lot of times we're in places and at events, different things where there just isn't anything there for us to eat. So the mindset is the key, right? If you're not prepared, like you don't have no purse bacon in your purse. You didn't eat before you went. You didn't stop at the gas station and get a boiled egg or a beef stick, and you're there now, and there's nothing there. And that happens a lot, I think, with us carnivores. Like there's often times that because everybody's with the vegetables, and they always have vegetables, right? But and they always have salads and pasta and stuff like that. But a lot of times there's nothing that's just plain old meat. And so I say, be prepared to fast. In your mind, know that you can fast. It's okay. You're not going to die if you don't eat this meal.
Exactly.
So that's my tip, is to just be prepared. Even if you're not prepared, just be prepared to fast.
I like that.
Wonderful. Thank you, Robyn. That is exactly good information. So the tips that I'm going to give is on my channel, Eat to Your Health with Carnivore. I do a lot of meal prepping and also prepping, as you can see behind me here. So what I always say is to be prepared for what ifs. So, we had a derecho where we lost power for 81 hours. We have jarred meat, we have salt, we have water. So I always tell people to, especially in the beginning, a lot of people are doing 2, 3 meals a day still at the beginning when they first switch to carnivore. It's so much easier on Sunday to make up bulk burger, bulk, chicken, lamb, whatever the meat is of your choice, and just have it in the fridge. That way you don't come home and you're ravenously hungry and you'll just grab anything because, that word that they like to throw out of moderation, that's a lie.
That's a lot.
No such thing. Or we wouldn't be in the places that we were. So America didn't get here because we eat in moderation. So I just say, be prepared, have a plan. And like you said, if I go to Thanksgiving at somebody's house, I'd bring a stick of butter and I just eat what the meat is and half a stick of butter. And I don't get crazy looks anymore because it's been 4 years. They know my crazy. So that's my tip.
Awesome
Well, that's
tip.
awesome, Laura. That's very important to be prepared. And I do want to get into the prepping like you do.
Okay.
My tip basically it's kind of like being prepared to have always something, a snack on hand for when you get hungry, especially when you're first starting carnivore. So for me, I always had bacon that I fried up and cut into small pieces. And I call them bacon crisps. I use Dr. Berry's
Mhm.
method of frying the bacon in the deep pot.
Good.
And it really crisps up the bacon really nicely. And I just pop those in the freezer. And so when I need a snack or I'm hungry, I will just snack on that. Also having some jerky. I want to learn like you, Laura, how you made your beef jerky. So
Oh,
I want to, that was less expensive if you can make it yourself.
oh
So
yes.
I'm plan on doing that and keeping that on hand. And then my last tip for me, I feel, is to keep it simple. It doesn't have to be
Mhm.
elaborate. You don't have to have, like Dr. Berry says, panda massage meat. Get what you can afford and make it as simple as you can. I usually do power bowls almost every day,
Yeah.
and something quick, little chaffles or little crepes, something really quick and easy. So I'm not in the kitchen a whole lot. So those are my tips that I have.
Excellent,
Awesome,
excellent
Rhonda.
tips. So mine is actually going to be a little different. This is a revelation for me over the last couple of days. Homesick Buckeye,
I love him.
Russ, yes.
Hey, Russ.
He said a couple of things, and a lot of times I might not do it in that moment, but then off to myself, I will ponder on what was said. And so I find that we, society, put people or situations in a box. Some of you, you'll meet someone, depends on what type of networking event you're in. And then you have certain questions. Well, what school did you attend? They're ready to stick you in a box because if it wasn't this one, I don't trust what it is that you're saying. Or what do you do? We're ready to put you into a box. What church do you attend? We're ready to put you into a box. What denomination are you? We're ready to put you into a box. And so I'm finding that with carnivore, we want to place you into a box. I feel more and more, and I have to say, I was a little guilty of this because I know there is eat your meat. And then there is those that start creating things, trying to make chips or different things. And I'm like, just eat the meat. But you know what? Do this. Let your body lead you.
Mhm.
The greatest part, and Robyn, I listened to your interview earlier today.
Mhm.
I missed the live part. Frederick texted me. He was like, "Dad, they on now." Okay, I missed it. And that's one of the things that his wife was talking about, how she makes reference, meat heavy, because people will attack you in the comments.
Yes, they
So
will.
here's what I have to say. In the beginning, people give you advice on how to start this diet. Let's put in a little common sense. How we normally do, okay, I'm gonna start the diet Monday. I'm gonna start Monday. Monday, okay. But what do you do on Sunday? You wolf down all the things that
Everything.
you won't
Mhm.
have for the next 30 days, or so on and
Mhm.
so forth. But I'm here to tell you, when you do that, then that first week of what we call keto flu,
Cute blue.
it might hit you really hard. So if you're thinking of this, start eliminating small things. If you're a heavy soda drinker, start drinking water, start increasing your water. So if you're
Yeah.
going to have a can of soda, you need to have 2 cans of water. So a 2-to-1 ratio. Start doing it like that. If you're going to push back the bread, or just say, you know what, this week I won't have any white food. That'll be flour, rice, pasta, bread, potatoes.
Potatoes.
Yeah, knock that out. And then just kind of see, and gradually, one of the things that I loved, I actually interviewed Rebecca and her husband, and one of the questions we wanted to know was, you guys have 10 people on this carnivore diet. I know the kids weren't like, give me meat, give me meat. How did you do it? And
Right.
so if you don't mind, Rebecca, I'll give that short answer. But for me, at this moment, it is one of those where I would just say, stop trying to place a person in a box. This is your body. If you find where you start eating back certain things, and that old stuff is starting to creep back, then guess what? And don't bring back a whole bunch at one time, because you have to. It's my husband. It's a science project. You can only change one variable in this, or you don't know what caused it. And find what's best for you, that you can live a pain-free, medication-free, fit, high testosterone life.
Right.
And so real quick, Rebecca, if you don't mind, and then I'll jump on to the
Yeah.
myth busting, but tell them how you gradually took your family.
Absolutely. So with the kids, we took it in stages. Louie and I, we did it 100% from day one. But the kids, we felt like that was too traumatic, or just too dramatic, I should say. And so we started with, like you said, we cut out all the white, everything that was true, just carbohydrates. So rice, flour, corn tortillas, because we're a big taco family, and bread, cereal, anything like that. We just got rid of immediately. Whatever was around was gone. We let them keep fruits and vegetables, and we let them keep condiments, and and all kinds of crazy cheeses and processed meats, which we limit now, but in the beginning. And so the condiments, lots of sugar in them, lots of weird things in them, but we wanted to get meat to be the center of our meal. So they're dipping in ketchup, they're dipping in barbecue sauce, honey mustard, sour cream, whatever, made it so that the meat was filling them up. And that was kind of like the big, and then fruits and vegetables, because we were a big fruits and vegetable family already, and they got to have them as long as they were kind of whole raw. So they eat an apple or just carrots. We weren't cooking or doing anything with them. And then as the months went on, we would slowly I would just decrease the amount of fruits and vegetables that I brought home. We'd run out. I just wouldn't replace it very fast. And the same with the condiments. I started slowly just kind of stopped replacing them and narrowing down what they were used to eating. And then things like the cheeses and the sour cream, we just started trying to encourage it to be more moderate. So it wasn't like trying to find good ratios. Like if you have a hamburger patty, you put 1 slice of cheese on it, not 4, and just to kind of help make meat grow as the center of it. And then eventually all of those things got eliminated little by little, and they missed them less and less. If you talk to them, I did a whole interview. I interviewed all my kids and asked them questions, and they gave all their very honest answers.
Oh, that's
and I
awesome.
left it all in there. And there's things that they miss. They miss candy, some of them more than others. They miss sugar, of course. But like my 3-year-old at the time, he's 4 now, but he said he missed carrots. And I was like, it's like, and I guess his Sunday school teacher says that he talks about missing apples sometimes too. But like, that's his frame of reference is that's what he, but it's such a big part of his life. And I told the story on G's show. My 2-year-old at a Christmas party last year, she found a plate of abandoned food that had cookies on it and like little chunks of cheese. And she went over and ate up all the cheese, and she didn't even touch the cookies. And I was like, I don't even think she knows what a cookie is. She had one so long ago, but she didn't even recognize it as a food. She saw cheese as like, oh my goodness, I'm going to go binge on this abandoned cheese. But frosted sugar cookies, she didn't even know what it was. So
wonderful.
So that's how we did it. As we phased it, and that took us almost a year. We spent doing that process. So it wasn't like everything you love is suddenly gone. Just eat, chicken and hamburger. So that's what I think with kids.
And so she did that with the kids, but guess what? We're just big kids. And so I want to encourage you to think about it, take it seriously. But watch this. Kids are watching you. And so the question you have to ask yourself is, do they watch you quit often? Do they, when you are at your wit's end and you're like, okay, the bills, but are you following through with the budget yourself? Or all of a sudden you start posting, I'm going for a walk. And then they see you for about a few days go for a walk. And next thing you know, you're not going for a walk. So they're watching you quit at that as well. So you're going to have to find something that you're going to stick with. Kids with ADHD, all of these things, it's in the food. It is in the food. And I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's in that food.
And it's true.
And it's on purpose.
And on purpose. Why?
Yes.
It's okay if you get sick. I'm going to just
make
put
you weak.
Over here. I have a dialysis center for you. I have an operating room for you. We even
chemo.
We have chemo for you. If we have to amputate your leg, I got a prosthetic for you. Yeah, we've created it is okay, but too many people are making money off of this. I want you to think about what happens if we all did this. We would flip the economy upside down. Just imagine walking in the grocery store and all of that stuff in the center is no longer there.
Right.
Yeah, think of how many businesses would be out. The bakery, the little cake shop. All of these things will be out of business. The home health system, you won't need all of those things. I'm telling you, get your joints and your movements back. Don't get me started over here. So listen, every week we want to do a myth buster. And so this week will be mine. And what I want to talk about is diabetes. I am not a diabetic. But over the last month, I've worked with a young lady who is type 1. And so the moment that you hear type 1, you know that's insulin all the time. She can't make it. But let me say to you guys that she has reduced her insulin up to 80%. Wow. So you have a glucose monitor. She no longer has to stick herself as many times. She can read it. She's like, gee, my numbers have never been like this. My pressure is down and my insulin level is not wacky. So I want you to know, we do talk a lot about type 2, because this can reverse that. Yeah, blood
Yeah,
pressure, all this,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
autoimmune
Definitely.
illnesses, all of that. My list is long, and as the shows go on, we will spotlight a lot of this stuff. But let me just say that, yes, if you're type 1, you know someone that's type 1, this is for you. You don't have to have the yo-yo. So it is a myth buster that I'm trying to do, that a type 1 diabetic cannot be on the carnivore diet. She hasn't had to have a peppermint, a glass of juice. She's had none of that. And she is blown away. That takes me back to what it was that I said about the box. She's going to find what works for her. And that's what she's going to do. You just have to turn around and be willing. You have to be willing.
I
All
do
right.
want to just say to I talked to Dr. Barry today, and my very last question to him was, is there any condition that cannot be helped by a proper human diet? And he said, well, if you had your leg amputated or something like that, well, the carnivore diet is not going to help you grow another leg. But every condition is, and this is Dr. Kiltz, every condition is caused by a plant-based, low animal fat, high carbohydrate diet. So every condition, and that includes type 1 diabetes.
Yep.
I know.
And I'm not a medical professional, but I'm hearing from
there
them.
you go. But we got one on. Look,
it's true.
We got one. Look, everybody point
We got
that
a
way.
nurse
There
over
she
here.
is. So I know we have a
Other way.
nurse over here. And so she sees this. She sees this. All right. Robyn, go ahead and tell the people what to do real quick.
All right, you guys, it's time for Q&A. So if you have any questions for the panel, we're just going to ask you to go ahead and put your questions in the chat. Anything that you want to ask. So you've been hearing a lot of good stuff coming from these ladies, and we want to ask you to go ahead and submit your questions. So I don't think I've seen any questions in the chat yet. G, have you seen anything yet?
I think I saw one, and I didn't put it up because we weren't at that section yet.
Okay.
But I tell you what, instead of me going back, just put some cues in front of it. Yeah, come. It is time. It is time. It is time. It is time. Yes. Yeah. So go ahead and put some cues in there. But in the meantime, some future shows and if you guys have some ideas or anything that you guys meaning the audience, that want to give some suggestions or something like that. But Miss Laura is going to get us ready for the apocalypse. We're going to have everything in our cabinets, because you can can meat. And so if you go
you
to
can
her
can
channel,
water.
What?
Girl, don't get, I'm telling y'all.
I'm not kidding you. I'm going to do it. I am prepared, but I am going to I'm going to can some water. I'm going to make some ghee. Because I can eat a teeny bit of butter, but I'm very lactose intolerant. But if I make my own ghee, which is like a fourth of the cost if you buy ghee, I'm going to also do that. So some other things to have.
Okay, I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna pay you for a private session. You just send me the things, because I need to have you on the thing, so we talking. Because I really liked the ghee. I did. All right, so we have a question here. Can you do a show about holiday cooking? So we're coming up. Is this the first Thanksgiving? Well, it wouldn't be the first Thanksgiving for you two, but I think it'll be our first Thanksgiving, 3 of us. So tell me some things. Very good. Tell me some things that you. Oh wait, I'm going up. Hold on, I'm seeing cues now.
Okay, they're coming in. I see them coming in.
Yeah. Well, without even doing the cooking show, I was just sharing with someone. I don't know what y'all did at y'all table, but at our table, I had a baked turkey and a fried turkey. I had the ham, I had the chitlins, and then somebody might even bake some chicken or something like that. But those were my main meats. So just make sure you don't get the honey glazed ham.
Yep.
That's one. But if the family prefers the honey glazed ham, then you just get like the ham steak, or you can do that. The turkey is right at it, or go ahead and do a duck. A duck is full of fat. And if you're going to do the turkey, of course, you're going to hone in for the thigh, which is the better part, and add you some butter over into it. And it's up to you if you want the chitlins, but you can also do that to tripe as well, because that is just the cow stomach. And then you can,
Really
I mean, there you go. And you can take, make you a, your mayo with your eggs and
Bacon.
devilish you a little egg a little bit. Now, my problem with that is just certain stuff was supposed to have pickle relish in it. I mean, relish in it. So it's like, it just didn't work for me. And I wasn't trying to mimic anything. Yeah. So hopefully that helped in regards to that.
Did you do a show? Did you do one? Did you do a video about cooking?
Not for Thanksgiving. Not for holidays.
Okay. I did.
Rebecca did that. Okay, go ahead, Rhonda.
But
yeah,
the meat. I'm gonna cook everything for my family still, but I'm gonna just try to eat the meat only. But I may treat myself that day and then just get back right on track the next day. So I'm not gonna promise I'm gonna be pure carnivore for Thanksgiving.
Be real with yourself.
I'm sorry.
Right?
It's a question. Anybody want to answer Mr. Brown's question? And then
what's he say?
A couple of you could do that, but I have to put up this other comment because this right here is cracking me up.
What did he say?
How is Frederick gonna tell y'all stop talking from inside the chat?
They evidently had to be on the live. Listen, you guys, I did a live yesterday and I was in here and he was watching it in the other room. It was on a delay. So after I would say something, Jay, stop that. You would hear him yell around the corner. So that's like really funny. But Frederick wanted to know, how are your husbands responding to your carnivore lifestyle? A couple of you want to answer that?
Yeah, I can tell you.
Is for it. Sorry. He's for it. I'll go first. Sorry. Yeah, he's for it. He's not. He doesn't want to do carnivore himself, but he is talking about going ketovore. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, he's very much for it, and he has followed along with me as we learn more about keto and carnivore. So I think he's all in and on board with the benefits that it can achieve. I just don't think he likes vegetables. So so I don't think he wants to go carnivore, but he's considering going ketovore. So that's good.
Perfect. That's good.
Anybody else?
Yeah. My husband, he is not carnivore either, but he will back me pretty much whatever I'm doing because I'm going to do it anyway type thing, you know. And once I get an idea, I just like, that's it. I'm full 100% in. So but he eats very healthy. I mean, he eats with the season. So if it's deer season, he's eating more deer, fish that, ice fish, only the vegetables pretty much out of the garden. So at least they're heirloom. They're not genetically modified like the stuff you get at the store. So it's still better than the standard American diet. But he just knows if I come home, like yesterday, I made the brisket. Well, I'm having brisket. And he's like, well, I'll just go make me this for a side. And I'm like, okay. And that's how we do it.
Very good. All right. So all of us will take the opportunity for this because I know a lot of ladies, carnivore is great, but we want to know, give me some numbers or stuff like that. So I tell you what, let's just start with Laura and just go straight across.
And what were they asking for?
How long before you ladies saw weight loss or body recomposition?
Okay, so with me, I had been keto for 28 years and had lost the 140 pounds and had never gained any of that back. When I went
Awesome.
carnivore, I didn't have any more weight to lose. I'm at my where I want to be. What I did notice is I lost brain fog immediately, 2, 3 days in. I lost every bit of joint pain, inflammation. I had none. I mean, you could just feel it, even like that visceral fat that you can tell is like between the organs, that was gone. I was able to fast so much easier for longer periods. I could do a 72-hour fast. I'm like, oh, I don't even feel bad, because when I was keto and did it, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have any energy. I don't have that anymore. So I think I just think clearer. So that was more of the carnivore for me, was just to maintain. I'm 52, and people in my family by this point have had 2, 3, 4 joints replaced. And I have
Mhm.
zero signs showing any osteoarthritis or inflammation. So that's where mine was. So mine wasn't so much to lose weight, although if I'd have done this back then, I probably would have even lost more. So that was for me.
All right.
Am I next?
Yeah.
I think I'm next in the lineup. I have lost about 20 pounds, I guess, since February. I didn't really pay much attention to the weight loss, actually, although I do weigh myself, but I wasn't kind of tracking how much weight have I lost because I really was doing it for other reasons. And also, I know that for me, I didn't think that carnivore would be like a crash diet and I would lose like 50 pounds in a month or something. You know what I mean? So I know that it's going to take time for me to lose weight because my body has healing to do. So I've lost about 20 pounds, but I feel like I have a lot of fat still on my body, even though I'm relatively small, I guess I would say. And people are starting to notice that I've lost weight. So, but I definitely have more weight to lose, and I'm just going to let my body tell me what the size that it wants to be. It'll land wherever it lands at.
That's right.
Rebecca?
All right, so I started losing weight immediately, like a large amount the very first month because I was such a carb addict. And so the inflammation started to go away very fast. And I think that it became very noticeable. I'm now at the same weight I was when I got married 17 years ago. But
Wow.
interestingly enough, my conformation, my body shape is better than it was then. You look back at some of our wedding photos, and I can see the inflammation in my face, in my neck, in my belly. I have better shape, more feminine shape, and that's really encouraging. And I'm still not to what I think was probably my ideal weight. But I feel so much better, and it is, like everyone is saying, it is nothing like it was when I was dieting before. I'm not obsessed with food. I'm not thinking about food. Probably since I was 14 years old, every day I'm either thinking about what I should or shouldn't be eating or feeling bad about what I'm eating. And it's always in the back of my mind. Either I'm going to go eat those cookies, or I shouldn't be eating those cookies. Or what about those cookies? Or should I go get some more cookies? No, I don't want any cookies. Okay, I'm going to have one cookie. No, I'm just going to have them all. Since I had one, I might as well just eat the whole pack. And then they won't be there anymore. And I can stop thinking about the cookies because now the cookies don't exist. That's in my mind since I was 14 years old, and I started Weight Watchers, and then I started calorie counting, and I tried paleo, and I tried keto, and I tried Whole30, and I tried all of these things, and it always made me more and more food obsessed. And this is the only way of eating where my food obsession is dissipated. I eat, and then I don't think about it anymore, and I eat as much as I want, and then I feel satisfied. So I know that I will eventually get to where my body needs to be at the weight, but after 8 kids, I can't complain at all about how I look now, because I just feel like a different person. So
That's awesome.
Ron, do you want to share real quick?
Oh, okay. So for me, I had started losing weight prior to carnivore because I was doing the Plant Paradox program where that program removes toxic plants, kind of similar to what Anthony Chapey was talking about. So I lost 50 pounds on that. And then after I started carnivore, I lost 30 more pounds within the first 3 months. And then I recently lost another 5 pounds because I went on the feline challenge of just ruminant meat and seafood. So my body composition started changing, I think, more when I started sprinting. So I sprint 3 times a week, trying to do Dr. Shawn O'Mara's protocol. And so that I've been doing sprinting since July, and I noticed within a couple of months, I'm starting to see my body composition change.
Awesome.
Wow. Okay. So in January of this year, I was 192 pounds. The first thing Frederick and I did was the intermittent fasting. And then we eventually went to chicken Caesar salad for him. I was still doing vegan. The problem was the processed food. So I would take the can of the heart of palms and put some noritake on it, trying to make tuna or trying to make fish sticks and all this, and all of that process. The smallest I've been was 141, and then I went on that last cruise, and we all know what happened on the cruise ship. And so, yeah.
Yes.
I pretty much have stayed under 150, and but I had told my husband. I told my husband for his birthday in December. Now I was 192 pounds when I had this conversation. Now I was going to get down to 150, and that's a birthday present for him. And so he's all around the house. Well, you already did that. You're underachiever. You've been sitting at that for 2 months now. I said, but I'm gonna be 130 for my birthday when I turn 60 in July. So that's where I am. We had a question here. Are the specific cuts or types of meat that you prefer? And do you have any unique ways of preparing them? So this will be the last question, guys, because I don't want to, we got some other things that we want to cover. So everybody holler out their specific cuts. Any 2 people want to answer that one? Go ahead, Ms. Laura.
Go ahead.
All right. So ribeye is ultimately my favorite thing, but when it comes to special way of preparing, I love to make ribeye fat bites in the air fryer and put those as a side. No matter if I'm doing ribeye or skirt steak, doesn't matter what it is. I always have a side of ribeye fat that I do in the fryer, and they're magnificent.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw your hand, Rebecca, and then we'll come to you, Rhonda.
We take chuck roast because it's one of the most inexpensive fatty cuts of beef that you can get. And it's normally people, simmer it in the oven for like 100 hours to make it tender, but we cut it up into little tiny bites and then we fry it. And we call them steak bites, and they are really transportable and they're very fatty and they're tender enough because they're tiny, so they don't have to do chewing. So we eat those we buy so much of it. It's great.
Wait a minute, and you cook it in the air fryer?
No, mostly we cook it on a cast iron skillet.
Okay, how long does it take to cook? Look, how long does it take to cook?
10 or 15 minutes.
What?
Okay, that's all we need to know.
Because they're so little.
Right.
That's good.
And they're tender?
Because they're small. They're just little bites. As long as you cut them into small little
yummy.
like cubes, basically. You're cubing it, basically. Yeah.
Okay. Miss Rhonda, you have something special?
Well, I like ribeye too, but my new favorite steak is picanha. And my friend Christy from Meaty Wellness got me into that. And I usually sous vide it, and then I sear it on all sides. So, and it's like my new favorite because it's got a nice fat cap on there.
Nice.
That sounds good.
It does.
That does. All right. So, we've pretty much answered those questions. In the future, guys, just to let you all know, because I love StreamYard. And so a lot of the things that we talk about in regards to Miss Laura over here, she will have the opportunity to do some of that live for you. We have so much planned. There is a secret tapped into each and every one of these ladies. But what we don't want to do is just stay too long and drag it out. Maybe sometimes we might do something really long. One of the things that I wanted to share with you guys is, ta-da, celebrity reflection. So for those that don't know, Frederick and I, he turned 60 in December. I turned 60 in July, and then we'll be married for 20 years in August. And so we are on this. Look, I'm strolling down. I'm actually reading it. The celebrity reflection ship. It leaves from Fort Lauderdale, traveling to Nassau and Bimini. And my travel agent is Michelle. And this information will eventually, and it might even be in the description of this video. It is our wedding anniversary, 20 years. And it is a carnivore cruise that we are inviting everyone to.
Yes.
Imagine just sitting back and letting the people just cook your steaks. That's it.
And bring
somebody
it to me.
cooking for you and bring it to you. Somebody cooking for you, somebody cleaning for you, somebody doing your room for you, somebody just wait. Go get pampered. That's the reason why I love these cruises. You get to be pampered. So if you just want to go, you could do the http://bit.ly carnivore cruise. That'll take you right there. So I did want to get that information in. You have until November the 20th for your room deposit, and it is $100 per person with the cabin of having 2 people. So that's $200, and then you can make payments. You got time to make payments, and you got time to get your body how you want it. And let me tell you something. Don't come back mad with me because I don't wear some see-through clothes, because I'm getting myself right. I'm telling you now.
Hey, G, when is that deadline? When's that deadline for them? Okay.
November 20th is the deadline, but the cruise is not until the
August 16th.
August. Yeah, August
through the
16th.
19th.
That is through the 19th. So you get on a Friday, you get off on a Monday. So you only have to take a couple of days off from work, leave the kids behind. But then also, ladies, I was thinking for all of y'all, if y'all could just come get on the ship. You know, I don't know how your husbands might feel, but if they don't want to go, y'all room up together, then doggone it, we go. We just have a good time. All right, so listen, our takeaways. Oh, the takeaways from this show. What is it that I've learned? As D.L. Hughley would say, you're going to learn today. And for as much as I told y'all to write stuff down, and I didn't. So
you got that carnivore brain.
I know. My takeaway is I am very thankful that God placed this on our hearts and that the ladies said yes, because the content we actually meet and we are trying to bring forth something that is helpful if you're just starting in carnivore, if you need somewhere place to be, for encouragement. We're all here for you. We have our individual channels. I'll put those back up. Robyn is Carnivorous Grandma. You got Carnivore Leo, Eat to Your Health with Carnivore, the Carnivore Family, and of course, Hanging with the Browns. And I took away that I am thankful that we are here to make a difference. And who's next?
Me.
Robyn.
So my takeaway that I'm going to take away and use is let the kids cook. So like I said, 11 grandkids, them kids gonna get over here and learn how to use the air fryer. And go in the refrigerator and get you a piece of chicken and put it in the air fryer. I'm about to teach them that. So I'll make a video.
Very good. That's an excellent takeaway. Rebecca.
Well, and Robyn, I think, on that note, think about, I know cooking with my mom was a way that we built memories together growing up. And it was usually baking for us or making candies or things like that. But cooking with you can be part of building those memories with your grandkids. It can just be cooking steaks and all kinds of other things like it's just as how cool will that be if they grow up and like, I remember learning how to make chitlins with my grandma or whatever,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
your favorite
Right.
thing is, you
They're
know,
gonna learn how
and,
to clean them.
exactly.
Can I throw this in? Because
Yeah.
that's something that I did do with my grands,
Mhm.
and I made TikToks out of them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I made TikToks and reels. And so it was cool because, of course, they had it on their phone. And then when they went to school and stuff like that, and then now I have one grandson that cooks more than the rest of them. And now this was prior to carnivore, where he would, oh my God, seafood Alfredo. I've taught them how to do all of those things. And you just it's real simple. Just capture a little bit, and then piece that thing together, put a little music on it, get a little yeah, and they love it. So that is documentation of those memories as well. They'll remember that.
Yes.
They'll remember
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
All right, Miss Rhonda.
Hi, my takeaway is I liked what you said earlier, G, about putting us in boxes, and it's kind of like labeling, and I don't like labeling. So I feel like everyone has to do their N equals 1 experiment. So it's going to be different for each individual. So, and also when you start carnivore, to take baby steps and not, eliminate everything all at once. So that's my takeaway for today.
All right.
Excellent.
My takeaway is going to be that I think each and every one of us brings something specific and unique to this channel and to these, to this broadcast that somebody out there may be like, oh, yeah, that would help my family, or this is the issues that we're having. And so I think this will be good for so many people to come in, even if it's not for them, if it's somebody they know that has something going on, that's health related, because, metabolic disease is what causes what we have. So I think that's something I'm taking away, is we all have something kind of unique.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
So what I'm going to say now is I encourage anybody, you can always put questions in there in the comments, and we can always, some of us can go through there and look at them later and kind of answer those. But I always want you guys to know that we appreciate you guys coming and watching us. Even if you're quiet and you're in the background and you don't say anything for a while, that's fine. But please like, subscribe, share this out. You can share this to anybody, and then they can kind of look at it, see what they think. So that's what I would like to see people do.
Excellent. So guys, like and share us. You will see us every Monday at 7 p.m. All right, you'll see these lovely ladies, and we're in the background, and we are trying to bring you the best. And I really did try to get up questions and stuff like that, so you can see your name up. I have, but y'all took too long to type, so that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna cover it and say y'all just took too long. Wait, we got one right here. Excellent tip for chuck roast: to cut it up in a small frying pan. If you have a tough ribeye, I bet not get no tough ribeye. You can cut it up small in chunks as well, them fat pieces and everything. But y'all, my thing right now is getting ready to be a duck. I have a duck in the freezer, and someone sent me a picture, and she told me, she said what she did was she seared it. She did the duck breast, but all of the duck has so much fat on it. She seared it on both sides, and then she popped it in the oven. But she likes her duck medium rare. And
That's how I would eat mine.
Me too.
oh, shut it up.
I want it to quack.
Yes.
Not like chicken and just cook. Okay, so help me. So
Let it be tender. Don't let it be dry. Let it be tender and juicy and
too much
delicious.
grease for it to be dry. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna hang up, but I really got this question for real. So with the duck, because I'm thinking the texture of like chicken and a turkey, and that does not appeal to me. But if this is more like, I like a medium rare steak. So y'all doing this.
Yep, medium rare.
For the duck.
That's right.
Oh, we got something to talk about next week for real. So listen, guys, thank you so much. Thank you guys that tuned in with us. And so I will leave the first show with this. Continue to speak what you seek until you see what you said. Let's say that again, G, for the people in the back. Continue to speak what you are seeking, and you keep speaking it until you see what you said. So I speak that I will see you all back next week with more. I speak that you guys will share this. I speak that you guys will think of us. I speak that you will go to the channels. There's excellent information on everybody's channel. And I speak that I'll see you next week. God bless, guys.
God bless.
God bless.